back to my channel. I am back with this week's Teen Mom Recap. Before I get started with this week's video, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every single week about the newest episode of Teen Mom Family Reunion and Teen Mom Next Chapter when that's airing. If that's something you want to watch, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with this week's video. So we come back to the forced interaction between Cheyenne and Mackenzie. Cheyenne says Mackenzie didn't understand the power of her words. Over there with her charade of crying. For her, it was a small problem, but for me, it was a big one. I'm not apologizing, and this is not a space for her to apologize. Making fun of Mackenzie's crying, calling it a charade, right after she was crying about her mom dying, is absolutely wild. Even if that wasn't the crying episode that Cheyenne was referring to, she's still being very hostile and mean. Mackenzie tries again. She's a lot nicer than me. I would have told Cheyenne to go fuck herself at this point. Mackenzie says, I'm still learning. I don't know what else to say. It's the truth. I can't change the bad things that I said. But you're not the bad guy I made you out to be, and I'm genuinely sorry. Okay. You may have said okay, Cheyenne, but your tone says no. I'm okay. I don't need anything. Mackenzie says I'm uncomfortable for me, for her, for everyone. Okay, good work. You guys can go back. Cheyenne says, I'm gonna leave. I'm getting irritated. The exercise was already over and you were dismissed. But go off, Cheyenne. Have your little diva walk off the stage moment. I was really open during the hypnosis. Now, I don't want to see Coach Mike ever again. Mackenzie says, can we please just not do this anymore? It keeps getting brought up and she keeps having to have these conversations that hurt. Yeah, I agree. Please stop trying to force these two to talk. They've said all they can say. Mackenzie has practically groveled at her feet. And nothing is going to change Cheyenne's mind. Just let it go. Dr. Mike tries to go up to Cheyenne to apologize. Funny how everyone always needs to apologize to Cheyenne, Her Highness. No, Dr. Mike, I just need a second. I think he overstepped his boundaries. Back to the ice baths. This has apparently been going on for quite some time because all the ice has melted in the heat. If Tyler keeps yakking, this might just become a hot tub challenge. It's Ryan's turn to give us some much needed context on his relationship with Kayla. He says, me and Kayla have been dealing with each other for 10 years. It stopped here and there when I would talk to somebody else. We were young and dumb. Now we need to be stable. I'm not sure if we want to stay together though. Corey, who knows a lot about cheating, says, where's your head at? Your focus should be on your pregnant girlfriend. Yeah, your focus should have always been on Taylor, but you cheated too, so let's not act superior, Corey. Zach's turn. When I first got in this ice bath, I wanted to get out. Just like my relationship. That was funny. But let us not forget that you waited 10 years for the poon. Imagine waiting 10 years just to immediately find out that the bitch is crazy. Micaiah says, I feel like you're not voicing the whole story here. Yeah, Cheyenne is always in control, so usually I'd rather not speak up. Zach has a lot of insight here, but after the ice bath, he goes to talk with Cheyenne immediately after it, and he once again doesn't question what she says at all and just yes-mans her and agrees with everything that she says. So as usual, Cheyenne is talking shit about Mackenzie and how much she hates her. She says, you know how uncomfortable it is when you're the only black person here? Actually, Cheyenne, there was another black woman there, and you bullied her, turned everybody against her, and said, I don't have to be friends with Ashley just because we have the same skin color. Quote, once again, Mackenzie is in her room crying while Casanio comforts her. He says, coming from Jamaica, we never have situations like this. Both her and Mackenzie are good people, and it's time to move on. Later, Dr. Mike approaches Cheyenne again. Cheyenne, can I just say, can I start? Of course. God, she is so insufferable. When I get upset, I shut down and I literally need to breathe. Yeah, we all do. That's why I walked away. Cheyenne, I only have the purest of intentions. From the bottom of my heart, I'm so sorry, Cheyenne. Thank you for taking your space from the situation. I accept Dr. Mike's apology. He didn't know what he said to me. He didn't mean it in a malicious way. He didn't think about what he was doing. This therapist that she barely knows sure is getting a lot more grace than Mackenzie got. Even though when you listen to the reasoning that Cheyenne is saying here, it's pretty similar to Mackenzie's situation. Okay guys, tonight we're going to the rooftop bar to drink. Macy and Taylor, you have to come. Was there any question of them missing out on drinking? Cheyenne demands that Zach stay sober at the bar to quote-unquote watch her and her mouth. And of course he agrees, at least at first, because he is her lapdog and therapy has taught him nothing. After some drinks, Cheyenne says, Mackenzie can't avoid me forever. We live together. God, not this conversation again! This is attempt number 3! Cheyenne sends her lapdog Zach to go bring Mackenzie forth to her. And for whatever reason, likely alcohol, Cheyenne has a complete change of heart. She's like, I was closed off. It was wrong of me to say that I give people grace if I don't do the same to you. Mackenzie says, grace means a lot to me. My mom was full of grace. Cheyenne says, I need to allow myself to let go. I ask that you and I have a clean slate. Mackenzie says, I feel like 1,000,000 pounds has been lifted off of me. They cheers and they hug and they make up. Finally. Thank God that's over, and it's nice to see Cheyenne finally open up a little. Now, without the awkwardness, they can all join together in a dance-off. Got Mackenzie doing splits on the dance floor. She says it's the first time since she's been here that she felt like herself. Meanwhile, Ryan is downing more shots than Ryan Edwards did before he got his DUI. It's to the point that even Corey can't keep up with Ryan. Kayla says, I don't know why Ryan's drinking so much. Maybe he's trying to prove himself. Taylor, who has some experience with an alcoholic partner, says, if I was in your shoes, I'd be really annoyed. Yeah, we saw episode 1. I am, but I don't want to create even more conflict. But word is spreading. Jade says, Ryan is a problem. I saw him bitching about taking a picture with Kayla. And they flash back to it. Ryan says, ugh, you're sweaty. Don't post this, okay? He didn't want to be on Instagram with her. And he's like, oh, I'm just never on social media. Shut up, fuckboy. Taylor says he is a hoe. Which again, I trust Taylor's word here. She has some experience with hoes. Kayla asks Ryan, how many shots have you had? 10? I'm controllable. Me, Cody, and Zach were all drinking. Cody? You mean Corey? You're always with the guys. When Ryan drinks, he gets even more bold with me. Taylor sees what's going on, and he tells Corey that he needs to talk to Ryan. I mean, yeah, it's been like 3 entire days since Corey was doing the exact same thing. So he's basically the resident alcoholism expert now. Corey tries to pep talk Ryan to get him to calm down. I've been there, bro. You just gotta focus on your girl. Ryan says, who wants to talk about pregnancy at a damn bar? And when you think about that, it is pretty funny. Like, MTV will have them revealing their deepest and darkest traumas at 4 o'clock. And then at 7 o'clock, they'll be like, it's the party bus, bitch! We got stripper poles! Get ready to twerk! Kayla is sick of Ryan's avoidance. She says, I'd rather him say I don't want to have a baby or be with you than ignore the topic. Zach is drinking, and Cheyenne did not give her lapdog permission to do that. She says, we had an agreement, Zach. 2 drinks maximum. She yells at him in front of everybody. Cheyenne is going off like I'm a little kid. She should have talked to me on the side, not in front of everyone. So Zach pulls her off to the side. And she says, are we taking pictures of me on this chair or what? No, we're not taking pictures. Can we take pictures when you're done? You're demanding too much. You need to let me be the man and take charge. We've never gone out and had an alcohol limit before, and I'm uncomfortable with it. Okay. What's with that stale ass okay? You need to speak. It's like I'm your puppet. I don't think I speak to you like that. I understand that you want me to release control. You said okay to me like you're talking to Mackenzie. Ugh. And that is exactly what she sounded like too. MTV even played the flashback. But I do see both sides here though. Cheyenne and Zach did have an agreement that he wouldn't drink, and he broke that and he drank anyway. But I think it was more so the way that she yelled at him in front of all his friends for not obeying her. That was embarrassing. I think if she had asked him privately, he probably would have reacted much better. So they argue, he calls her disrespectful ass, and she just says, okay, again, and then he walks away. And she says, I thought you sat in that ice bath today. What happened? You need to sit back down. You're not hearing my apology. He does sit back down, but then Cheyenne says, this is your fault, not mine. I need a minute. And once again, she walks off. Even though he already walked off, but she had to be the one to walk off. And she goes to the bathroom and starts crying. Taylor and Jade catch her in there and ask her what's wrong. I can't drink and feel free unless Zach watches my back. Watches your back? Aren't you guys on like a private set with cameras? It's not like David Eason is here anymore. I don't think there's like a threat. There's also no Ashley or Brianna there yet for that matter, so. Corey talks to Zach. He says, you cater towards her needs, and I don't think she does the same. No, she does cater to me. It just lacks in some areas. Eventually, Zach pulls Cheyenne aside again, and they agree that they don't want negative energy. They basically make up super quick, and Cheyenne says the best marriage advice is to argue naked. And they kiss and roll around on this bed thing. The next day, Kayla and Ryan have a therapy session. Dr. Mike says, I sense tension. Even when I went to get you two guys, you were sitting away from each other. Ryan says there is tension, and the biggest issue right now is probably trust. Things just get put off and we don't work through it. Kayla says, I have a hard time telling you about my feelings. Tell me about why you guys love each other. Ryan, you always back what you say with actions, and you always show me that you love me. You drive an hour to get me, and then we'll spend weekends together. Kayla, I love that you're a great mother, and you always do things to make sure that everybody's alright. Kind of a weak-ass answer from both sides. Like, you drive and you do things. That's great. Kayla, why don't you want to let him in? Even your posture right now, you're so closed off. I want you to close your eyes and tell me about a memory that's causing you to be so closed off. She starts crying and she says, it's painful. How old were you when this happened? 6. Was it abuse? Yes. Was it sexual? Yes. So you learned to protect yourself from the pain and the hurt that happened to you. Ryan, did you know about this? No, I didn't. I have a hard time being vulnerable with men because of this. Well, your partner needs to know that. Ryan, what are you thinking right now? My first instinct is anger towards the situation. Sadly, it's relatable. I have family members who've been sexually assaulted, and I get really aggressive when I hear that. You should thank Kayla for sharing that. He says, thank you for opening up and telling me that, Kayla. I want to give you the protection that you need, the love and affection that you need. It's just that this baby thing is such a big issue for us right now. Ryan, what percent are you in this relationship at this moment? 60 to 70%. It's like 90 Day Fiance here, bringing out the percents. She's carrying your child and you're at 60 to 70%. Well, you guys have 3 choices in this situation. Abortion, adoption, and raising it. Kayla says, I've been pushing this to the side. I don't want to talk about this shit. But you have to talk about it though. And that is all for this episode of Teen Mom Family Reunion. What do we think of the dynamic between Kayla and Ryan? It just seems to kind of get worse and worse the more we see. Although it was nice to see him support her in the therapy session, pretty much every other time during the show, they are not getting along. And what do you think about Cheyenne and Zach? Do you feel like he is her little lapdog? And lastly, what do you think of Cheyenne and Mackenzie finally making up? Make sure to leave a comment down below and make sure to subscribe for more Teen Mom recaps every week.